Well, hello. Welcome to None of the Fluff, Only the Facts with Coach Claire Autrey and Yvonne Sandoval.
Great Wednesday, Yvonne. Glad to be with you.
Uh, Happy Wednesday. My happy Wednesday to you. And we are here to talk about none of the fluff. I mean, just let's get to the facts. Let's get to how we can help. And we're here to answer your questions. So feel free to post while you're watching this. We're able to take questions. So go ahead and post those questions, and we can answer those live. So Claire, before we always talk before the show starts
Yeah,
because
we
we
do.
want to see what's like going on in each other's worlds and catch up because we're both busy people. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was something that I posted today, and I'm hoping that you're wanting to bring some light to this. But it is your feelings aren't reality. And I say this because so many times I hear people say, "Well, I feel that this is too hard to do," or this, and the emotions come into play. And what it really is just a manifestation of your internal dialogue. And I think that our internal dialogue is generally skewed to the negative,
Hmm.
and it's self-defeating.
Yep.
So what do you have to say about this whole idea that your feelings aren't reality?
So I appreciate that. And that's a good way to look at a perception because most people would hear that and they're like, but my feelings are real. They're valid. And I was like, yes. However, if we look at the facts, our brain may be turning that little bitty anthill in front of you into a mountain that you may say to yourself is not able to overcome or is insurmountable or you couldn't, so I appreciate that way of looking at it. Here's the thing that I have learned, and here's the thing that I encourage us to always remember. Our heads are out to get us. Our hearts are out to save us. And the
Mhm.
journey of life is only 18 inches, which is having the agreement with our thoughts and our actions meet with what's going on in our guts, you know so it matters what we say to ourselves, it matters what we do each day. And what's really interesting is having a coach helps you with that internal dialogue. So can I go a little bit down that rabbit hole a little bit?
Absolutely. I
Okay,
love
so
that.
if I was to say to you that the majority of our clients that we have, I really encourage them to dismiss certain words in their vocabulary. Try.
Oh yeah.
There is no try, there's only do. And
That's
it's
yoga.
really kind of cute because I talk to my daughters and my clients and they're like, oh, and they'll catch themselves. And they're like, there's only do. And it's the same thing when we disconnect and stay away from the negative quadrant of our brain, we are more likely to be productive, healthy, and whole. So even though certain issues may arise, our little brains are just like, "Oh, I'm this, or I'm not that, or I'm not this, or I'm trying to be a better person." No, you're intending to be a better person, and you need some tools in your toolkit to be able to get to that intended person that you want to be, right? So
Exactly.
somebody may say, "But I'm a good person." We're all good people. Humans are good people as a whole to their core. Where we get into danger is listening to either outside influences or
Yes.
what I call excuse the expression, the itty bitty shitty committee sitting on your shoulder, whispering in your ear. I mean, let's be real. You know me, I just stick to the facts. So if I've got this itty bitty shitty committee saying things into my ear, and then my brain's trying to process it, and then it becomes a belief, then that's a limiting belief. Rather than sitting there looking at that committee going, who do you think you are? I mean, some people call it the drunk monkey. Some people call it the little devil and the little angel on it. There's all different kinds of analogies for that. What it boils down to is what truth are you listening to, and are your actions in agreement with that, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, you and I have both known that we have gone through major struggles, and with the major struggles comes major stress. And then with the major stress, you may have some health issues or relationship issues. And it all feels like, that small little pebble that's rolling down the hill, and it gets caught up in the snow, and then it's a huge avalanche. Let the avalanche handle itself. Just
Mhm.
fall. Just let it go. You have to be able to process it. Give yourself the breath to realize that you're not all going to be spiritually fit all at the same time. You're not all going to be happy, yippee skippy all the time.
That's right.
Sometimes we have bad days.
That's
However,
right.
to process that bad day with the facts. And if you're listening to the itty bitty shitty committee who's telling you about that big huge mountain and not looking at the facts that it's just a little bitty anthill that you can stomp on and walk on, that is where you have a coach to help guide you through the facts. Because when we're in that emotional time, we have too much remnants for our body. We're trying to process it. However, our prefrontal cortex, when we're in that, is not necessarily clicking on all 8 cylinders. So we have to give ourselves a breath. We have to be able to breathe. We have to be able to take full breaths and analyze that. And if we're not able to analyze it and we're staying in that emotional flux, or we're staying in that stress level that's way up here, then we're less likely to make the right decision for anybody around us. So we're putting everyone in danger, not just ourselves. So then let's take it to the next level just a little bit, because I know that this is a long, drawn out process. Let's take it to the next level. Let's say I don't talk to anyone and I keep pushing it down and putting on the fake face, pushing it down and putting on the fake face, that fake it till you make it.
Hmm.
Heard that, right?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes if we're going to fake it till we make it, that can actually cause internal trauma to our human cells. And I don't want that to happen either. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the reason why you need to have a trusted person to talk to that's been down that road, that has shared that same thing. And here's the thing. I love professionals. I have employed many professionals and still do. Sometimes what we're going through may just take a friend. Sometimes, I mean, Yvonne, you and I both, we have had phone conversations where we've been like, I just need to verbal vomit. I just need you to listen. Because once you start talking out loud, the conversation that's going on in your head, your brain has already started to process it and then can extract the facts from the fiction.
That's
And
right.
it's not necessarily a bad thing, because this is how the whole process works. Because when
Hmm.
you're saying it out loud, you're hearing how ridiculous it sounds. And then your brain's going, why is it ridiculous? So then the brain starts working. Our brain is the most fascinating thing that we have besides our heart,
Right.
because our heart beats, there's electricity, but it also has a function because it can hurt. So if our heart is hurting and our head is telling us a whole bunch of BS, we're in a particular interesting position to not be of maximum service to the people that we're trying to serve, or the job that we're trying to do, or the goals that we're trying to meet, or the family we're trying to serve, or the other things that are on our list for our daily stuff. So let me ask you a question, Yvonne. What do you do on a daily basis that places you in a better position to not be vulnerable to the itty bitty shitty committee?
I surround myself with people like you. And I mean, that's what I do. I really, and I'm huge. That's another thing I posted as well, was about having your tribe and attracting like attracts like. I posted yesterday about, I found out that some people didn't like me. And yeah, I'd gotten information that some people didn't like me. I wasn't their cup of tea. They didn't want to come to my classes, and they actually took action and called someone and said, "Hey, don't do classes with Yvonne anymore." And I said, "Wow, I am so happy. That made me happy to hear." And when I told one of my colleagues about this, they're like, "What do you mean you're happy? That's a horrible thing. People shouldn't be saying that about you." That I said, "No, I want that. What it means is that I am doing exactly what I intended to do. repel the wrong people who are wrong for me. And I'm saying that they're not wrong people, they're the wrong people for me. And I'm going to attract the right people. So if I did a good enough job of being me and having myself take a stance and put out there who I am, then there are going to be people who are not going to find me their cup of tea. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So that's good news, is that I'm being true to me and it's working. So I think that what a lot of people are trying to do is they once again are trying to please others. And what a coach is going to do, they're not going to be the friend that you call who's going to sit there and say, "Oh, poor Claire, so that should never have happened to you. You're the best, and you're totally right, and that person was wrong." That's a friend, or that's a spouse, or that's a partner, but that is not reality. Sometimes the things that you're doing may be not the things that are to your best interest. And a friend isn't going to be able to tell you that, or a loved one isn't going to be able to tell you that, because that person has a vested interest in the relationship. They don't want the relationship to end.
Right.
So they have to just stay and help you feel better about you. Now, not that a coach isn't going to help you feel better about you, but they're going to help you feel better about you because you're going to accomplish the thing that you set out to accomplish. So they're not here to put you down or make you feel that you're not able. It's the total opposite. They're going to hold the mirror up to you and let you see yourself in the light that you are really projecting. And that could be an internal light. That doesn't have to be external. So we're going to help you to self-discover what it is that's holding you back, what obstacles that you have actually self-imposed. And then, of course, the obstacles that are external obstacles, we're going to actually be real with you and help you to get those answers that you need. And the actions, not only that, the actions that you're going to action on a daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis.
Correct. And I love the way that you put that, is because the coach isn't there to fluff you up. The coach is there to bring out your strengths. And the coach is also there to ask you hard questions. When they place things in front of you, how do you feel about something? They dig deep. They get into the root of the reasons that you do certain things. And for myself as a coach, I enjoy working with someone's strengths. That's the easy part.
Yes.
We can build around someone's strengths, and that's what I choose to do, because I truly believe that we were all given gifts. And you had mentioned something, that we're all out here trying to please so many different people. Here's what's really cool. We have all been placed here for a purpose, and I truly believe this. And our purpose is to be of maximum service to those people that are placed in front of us. It is not our responsibility to sit back and basically try to manipulate that.
Exactly.
We're there to give and to serve, to dig deep. And if the other recipient chooses to accept it, that's a blessing.
Exactly.
And when they choose to pass it on, that's the miracle, right? So if we stick to the facts, good head coaches, we talked about this last week. Y'all know I'm a college football fan. If my head coach says to me, "Great play," and then I go back and look at the films with, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, and said, "Hey, if you could have just sidestepped just a little bit more, or if you could just do these certain things in the training room, you would have executed it quicker or faster. We could create a little bit better skill with that great play." That's what coaches do. They take
Exactly.
what's great and they make it greater. That they ingrain it into you so that you can see the different aspects of whatever portion of your business works well, and they move on that. They help you move on it. So I enjoy that aspect of my profession, in allowing that space for someone to self-aware, and allowing them, in the people that we have been privileged to serve so far as clients and coaching clients, that they allow themselves that vulnerability to answer those hard questions. because it isn't confidence. We're not therapists, we're coaches. We have to ask questions in order to get the picture. We need to know where your mind is, we need to know where your heart is, and we need to know the facts. I mean, we've had plenty of people go in and out of our lives, Yvonne, that you and I both have had one session with, and it changed their life.
That's right.
And we've had other people that have been in our world where it's taken years of sessions and has also changed their life. We don't get to know how many sessions it's going to take for the light bulb to come on, or for them to allow themselves that space. We don't know that. However, what I do enjoy is attracting the people who not only need what is necessary for their businesses to grow, but they want their businesses to grow. And that's huge.
Absolutely. We can't want it more than they do.
Right. No, we do. You and I are made the same. We do. We care so much. We just want to do, we just want them to succeed so much more than themselves. And I was like, just get yourself out of the way so you can just go.
Exactly. I mean, I recently was talking to a client, and I said, you really do know what to do. You've been in real estate for a long enough time that you have enough experience to know what it is you need to do. But the problem and the challenge that you're facing is that you're just not doing it. You're not doing what you used to do. I mean, I've had this conversation 3 times with 3 different people in the last week or so. And these are agents who have, they say to me, I've had my worst year yet. And I was killing it last year and the year before and the year before that. And what they'll say to you is, if you ask, on the surface level, what's the thing that's holding them back, it'll always be something external. They'll say, well, the interest rates or the inventory or the this or the that. It is always something external that they have no control over. And then when I say to them, really, really, I go, well, there's always going to be people who need to buy and sell properties. That's always a constant. There could be a life change. There could be a job change. There could be any numerous amount of reasons why somebody would like to buy and sell properties. And the interest rate is not one of them. Okay, that's not what you're doing is not focusing on the things, the internal challenges that you can control. So what are you saying? Are you saying you can't go forward? You're not going to do as well as last year because of an external force and just lay down and die? No, you can only control the things that are in your own sphere, which is your world that you've created. So I go, let's talk about the things that we can do, that we have control over, that will help you to have the same kind of year you had last year, which was a great year. And so I think that's just normal. It's a very human thing to do, is to blame the external on the reason why you're not doing well.
Can I give an example to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of our clients, very awesome person, that we have an accountability time that we get together, and so we were discussing, why his conversations were lacking, because in this particular person, we stay accountable to conversations and appointments set, okay, for this particular client. And it was really kind of funny because he was like, it's kind of sprinkling outside and I really didn't want to do my door knocking. And I went, what? Are you kidding me? And so it was really kind of interesting, because as soon as he said it out loud, you can see the physical manifestation of what he just said. He knew it was an excuse right away. And he knew that he had made a choice, because that's what life is all about. We get to make a choice. And just like when we talk to people, it runs down to that willingness. Well, how willing are you to go home and say to your family, significant other, pets, or whatever, I didn't do my job today, so you can't eat.
Exactly.
So, and right. And so during that time when we're really having conversations with people and asking questions, I mean, just let's stop and ask our question. How willing are we today to do whatever it takes for whatever the goals are that we've set for the year? Are we
Yeah.
going to lower our goals? Because that's a choice too. You know, are we going to, there's so many choices that we can make. You know, just like in January, I shared with you, Yvonne, I shared with you in January. January was a funky month, you know, and I was like, I talked to my coach and I was like, you know, am I seeing this in its right light? You know, and of course, my coach says, you are seeing it factually. However, what are you going to do about it? I was
Exactly.
like, get back to basics. I just do what I do best. And, you know, everything was good. Made my phone calls, made my connections, reached out to my database, you know, reached out to you. But a lot of things came to pass, you know, and what ended up happening?
Yeah.
Productivity, more clients, more people to serve, and the blessings abounded.
That's right.
I had to be willing to do the footwork. I had to be willing. Our clients are willing to do the footwork to get to their goals. And I think that when we're discussing this today, that's what it has a lot to do with. Am I willing, whether I choose whatever choice I have, do I have the brain capacity to look at the consequences down the road? Do I have someone who's guiding me down that road? If I choose this, what's going to be the outcome? Because if I choose not to make a phone call, or if I choose not to contact my database, or if I choose not to serve my clients, what's going to be my outcome? Can my brain process that? Can I do that in a short amount of time to be able to make an educated decision? And that leads me to a choice of action, massive action, to get the best result. Do I have
Exactly.
that in place?
I love that. You know, it's funny. I sometimes think to myself that I'm a simple thinker. And I really do think I'm a very simple thinker. And when you just told the story about the raining outside, pardon me, and that the person didn't want a door knock because of that, I thought about the umbrella and why the umbrella was invented. And so that my simple thinking goes to the umbrella was invented by someone who didn't want to have an excuse because they needed to go somewhere.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we would have just sat in our houses and said, well, I can't go XYZ. I can't go to work. I can't do this and that. It's raining out. So somebody one day woke up and said, and that was probably an entrepreneur, says, I need to be someplace. I'm going to invent something that's going to be able to let me get to where I need to be.
Right.
And they invented the umbrella. So
Absolutely.
that is what a coach does. A coach is the umbrella. It helps you get to where you need to be because the excuses, think of the excuses are the rain. Is the rain coming down? We are that. We are the umbrella. It's to me a wonderful a metaphor analogy to say that you need to have something that's looking over you and to help you to protect you from the excuses that rain down on you every day.
Right.
And coaches are here to help you with that. And with that being said, my biggest takeaway from today is that what you do, Claire, is, and what coaches in general do, but especially Claire, is she takes what is great and what is working, it makes it greater, it makes it work better.
Hmm.
So if you are watching and you want to learn more and you want to get to where you need to be and you're not, and staying in the house and not doing what you need to do is not an excuse. And you have to get someplace. You're going to need your umbrella and you're going to need your coach. So take a moment and scan the QR code on the bottom. That's going to open up Calendarly, which is going to be able to let you set an appointment for a 15-minute conversation that's going to help you understand Claire's program, which is called the Creed program. We're going to review what that means, what it is she can offer. You have to do something if you want to move forward. Let's talk. And only reach out, of course, if you're wanting to be helped and you want to move forward. If you're not ready, don't take the time. Keep doing what you're doing. Or visit. You can come to the website right now. You can go to getleverage365.com/Claire-Autrey to learn more about Claire and how she has helped many people over her incredibly long professional career of helping people get to where they need to be. So thank you so much, Claire, for joining us today. We appreciate you. And none of the fluff, only the facts. We'll
Hey,
see
have
you.
we got a quick second?
Yeah.
So, do you know the multi uses of an umbrella?
No, tell me.
Okay, so the umbrella also gives you shade. But if
Ah,
you turn it upside down and you catch rainwater, it can give you life giving fluid that you could use, right? Or you could collect stuff in it so that you could take it to somebody else. There are so many different uses for the umbrella, not just to shade us or keep us away from the rain. We can also turn it the other way, and it offers us a bountiful way to catch blessings. So just
I love it.
understand that there's multiple functions for stuff, and I love umbrellas. I love being in the rain. I love splashing in puddles. That's just amazing to me that no matter what kind of inventions that we have, we also can use them for multiple purposes. So
That's
don't
right.
just think for yourself that the coach is just for business. Sometimes we need to get past blind spots so that we can be a better business owner, better business builder. Understand that I enjoy that, and I coach to the person. I don't coach to production. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much. And we'll see you again next week with Claire Autrey at None of the Fluff, Only the Facts. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.